So I saw this video. Video been circulating inside on Facebook, and ordinarily I wouldn't say anything, but this video really pissed me off. Now, actually left me disturbed, because this video had 11 million views of a black woman walking into a store. You can see it right here. Walking into a store and she has a strap in her hand. See the strap in her hand? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see that. And commenced to abuse a young man. It's her son, but that's a young man. Look how big the kid is. This kid, compared to the other guy beside him, you could see the size. He's a pretty tall kid. That's a 17-year-old boy who, in some circumstances, could be charged as an adult if he committed a crime. But he's not committing a crime here. He's just standing at the counter trying to purchase something. And here's the queen here with a belt in her hand to accost this young man and abuse him. That's what she's there to do. She's here to beat him down. Show him who the authority is. Now make no mistake about this. This is not about discipline. You see? Wouldn't it be easier for her to communicate to her son in a civilized manner? But no, she's not going to do that. You know why? Because she's not civilized. What if a black man, what if this was a black man standing here with a belt in his hand, ready to go off on a 17-year-old girl? How would you all see that now? How do you all take that? How would you all reconcile that? Would you still consider discipline, a father disciplining his daughter? No, you wouldn't. You'd vilify him, want him to get locked up, probably throw him in jail. That's a hypocrite you motherfuckers are. I wonder sometimes, how is it that when they're abusing black men in the media, that everybody think it's okay? Well, no, that's his mother. She's one of millions of mothers all over the world. There's nothing unique about her being his mother. She's a mother just like somebody was her mother. So what's so unique about that? You see, what I'm saying here is that these women, these black women especially, they have these young boys, and it seems like a hostage situation going on here, where they hold these young boys and abuse them. You can see she have a history of abuse by the fact that she can just walk down to the store with a belt in hand to attack a young 17-year-old man. This is not a small boy either. Look at him compared to the other guy beside him. That's a pretty large young man, pretty tall young man. But that's her only way of relating, because he didn't do something she wanted him to do. He's supposed to be in Zoom class. We're in a pandemic. There's a lot of stress involved. People need breaks, right? This thing has thrown everything out of kilter. There's not an excuse for this though, because this boy went down, probably just needed a break. But because he didn't stay in the house like his mother told him, then he must be a bad kid. But he's not committing a crime, is he? He's not committing a crime. He probably just needed a break. He probably just needed to get away from these abusive motherfuckers in the house. Have you noticed that these black women, they treat their sons like slaves? It's as if they're de facto slave owners, and they got to live up to the code of slavery. So they treat their sons like old hired slaves. And they beat you down just like the old slave master used to beat you. He just take you out into the public square to show the other slaves that you're not going to get away with this, boy. So they got to make an example out of one or two slaves. That's how they used to do it. Take you down to the town square and whip you. Yeah, they'll whip your ass. What's the difference between now and then? What has changed? Yeah, and how dare this hostage escape for 5 or 6 minutes to just go to a store and get some refreshment, get some fresh air. Here comes the old slave master with the belt in hand to show this boy who the master is. These black women, they treat their son, their black boys, they really try to beat them down and to break their spirit. That's what this is demonstrating here. That's what she's showing. She's wanting to break his spirit. And people are co-signing this. That's the other part of it. Grown men are co-signing this. You know, one of the arguments that they use to validate their abusive manner towards you is that, and it's about guilt, see? This is about guilt. They like to keep you guilty. So that way they can break you and abuse you. Is that they carry in their belly for 9 months. But show me one person on the planet that hasn't been in somebody's belly for 9 months. Unless you're an alien from outer space. We don't know anything about that. But everybody was carried in somebody's belly for 9 months. So what she does is nothing unique. And what about the fathers? They carry in their balls for most of their adult life. Yeah, but all that stress and headache a man goes through, it doesn't count, does it? But they want to keep you in this 8 by 10 room, which is nothing short of a torture chamber, they call a home. Abuse you, verbally, mentally, and otherwise, because they're your mother. They even give themselves, fancy title like queens and goddesses. You know how they do. You're just a welfare queen if the father is not around. You're abusive, and you're not qualified as a mother. You're a shakedown artist, holding a kid hostage for 18 years. Give that boy back to his father so he can raise him as a man. Yeah, that's his mother. We all know it's his mother, but does that give her the right to attack him and abuse him? I think you forfeit that right, that motherly right, when you walk into a store and attack me. You forfeit that right as a mother. Now you're an adult that I have to defend myself against. That's what it is. You gave up that right. You're no longer my mother. You're now my abuser, and I'm going to protect myself against you. It's healthy as a teenager to assert your independence and individuality. That's considered healthy. That shows the signs that you're becoming mature and adult. But what happened to the black woman, they see that as a threat to their authority. Because you see, they never taught you coping skill. They never taught you how to communicate. And any type of verbal response, any attempt of communicating, responding to them, it's a threat to their authority, queendom. When discipline and respect is taught in the correct manner, the children, people just naturally acquiesce. A pit bull or some dogs that attack their master, it's not that the dogs are bad. It's just that the dogs are intelligent. Like a Doberman Pinscher is not going to just sit back and let you beat it down. Eventually it's going to attack you. Why? Because it's an intelligent dog. It's like, no, I will obey you and respect you, but I'm not going to allow you to abuse me. And there's a difference between discipline and abuse. Some people don't really understand that. Because you made them mad, see. You made Mom mad, so now she go crazy in you. Well, doesn't that defeat the whole idea of what discipline is all about? If you now lose your discipline and in turn now abusing me, how disciplined is that? The problem with a lot of you women, especially you black women, the way you all abuse and deal with people, you all been hiding behind these moral codes for too fucking long. And people have been going along with it, but people are starting to say these motherfuckers are just abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive. And the thing about it, they think you're silenced because you don't come back at them like a mad rabid dog. They think, well, they just continue. There's no stopping. I see them try to hit men in the street. I'm like, what is this? You're trying to attack a man, and if he turns around and body slam you, have you drinking out of a fucking straw for the next 6 months? He's the bad guy when he defends himself? Fuck that, man. I'm not going to submit or subject myself to abuse by nobody, yo. Nobody. When you put your hands on me, it's on. Simple as that. You can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me after that. But I know one thing. I'm not going to let you abuse me. And if you yell at me and scream at me, I'm going to yell and scream at your back. I might even choke the shit out of you. Fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Nobody going to take that shit no more. Slavery ended 200, 300, fucking 400 years ago. How long ago did slavery end? You want to treat me like an old plantation slave? No, fuck you. And what is one of their favorite phrases they use to justify their brutality? Don't spare the rod and spoil the child. How about taking a rod and shove it up your ass and leave the poor kid alone? Like I said before, she's one of millions and millions and millions of mothers all over the world. That doesn't give her the right to abuse him in any way, shape, or form. As a parent, your job is to do what? Provide for me just like you were provided for. And can I have a cooked meal once in a while? A home-cooked meal where you sit around the table and talk to me like a human being as opposed to these goddamn TV dinners. And do your job for once in a while as a parent, for Christ's sakes. Teach me some basic coping skill, morality, honor, integrity, respect. You teach that. You don't beat it into me. I'm not your fucking slave. Right? Well, back to the plantation with these boys. You see, these black women are de facto slave owners. Yeah, the mantle of slavery and the plantation have been passed on to them and now they're proud owners. That's what they are. That's why people celebrate when they beat up brothers in the street. I saw this years ago and some whore up there in Baltimore was beating up her son in the middle of some kind of a demonstration, and the media just love it. Media just love it, but by the same token, they say you're not supposed to discipline your kid. But it's okay for the black queen to go ahead and abuse a black man. You see the image here? You see the double speak here? Some bitch come talk about, well, if he was an adult, he should have acted like an adult and be home doing his homework like he's supposed to. If he wanted to be treated like an adult. You know what I'm hearing? If he wanted to be if he was a good slave, he'd go back to the plantation and do his work from sun up till sundown and don't complain. You know what I said to that bitch? I said, if that was me, mom come up in a store, my mom would never do that. But if she come in my store and try to abuse me like that, I'd take the belt and fucking choke her fucking ass. Not gonna beat me down and break. They just want to break you. Here's how you break a nigga. See how beating to this? Beating up this little kid in the middle of the street. For no reason at all. He's standing there buying some shit. So what if he would decide to take a break from the fucking Zoom? Sit in front of a fucking computer all day. So fucking what? But you see that thing they own, you see? They have to stand over you like big queens and big lords. Big slave owner. You're in their plantation. You got to do what they say. And if not, they beat you down and punish you. Threaten you. Make you feel like shit. You don't do what I say. You got to get out the house. I can bring you into the world. You know the shit, the stuff they use. I bring you into the world. I can take you out. You know, you can't take me anywhere, bitch. You ain't gonna threaten my life. You brought me here just like everybody else got here. The same way I got here. Your job is not to take me out. Your job is to get me here. And thank you very fucking much for getting me here. I don't owe you anything. And anything you did for me is what you're supposed to do as a parent. I'm not indebted to you in any way, shape, or form. You did what you're supposed to do. Now leave me the fuck alone. And stop abusing me and stop threatening my life. If not, I'll throw you out this fucking window. You know, black men, we need to stand up against these evil. We need to stand up against this evil and don't think of it as a joke anymore. This is not a fucking joke. These are the same bitches that will come up, that will try to shame you in the middle of the store, talk to you any kind of way, shape, or form. Huh? And you all, this is the same motherfuckers. They want to beat you down, to crush your spirit. That's what I'm saying with this young man here. And he got up and he fall on the ground. Look, he's on the ground. She's beating him on the ground. He's trying to get away from her. He shouldn't have tried to get away. He should have snatched her up. Snatch her fucking ass up. The bitch you coming out of the store couldn't beat me with some belt. Do I look like a baby to you? You fuck up my face. You stupid whore of a mother. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he wasn't thinking about me when my father was fucking you. I was just an afterthought. Now get the fuck up my face. You know what that young man should have done? He should have dropped his pants and take a shit in the middle of the floor. That's what he should have done. What are you doing? I'm taking a shit, mother. I'm defecating. This whole situation has brought on consternation, anxiety, and nervousness to my stomach. So I'm emptying my bowels. Did you brought some baby wipes, mother? That'd really fuck her up now, wouldn't it? Not to mention the psychiatrist and psychologist would have a field day. That's what he should have done. Sometimes you just have to tackle this shit head on. You can't try to reason with it, because we're not dealing with morality in the same light anyway. The parameter has shifted. When you had family and you had structure and all that stuff, there were codes of conduct that you had, the way to handle yourself, how to deal with things. Matters of the home stays in the home. You don't hang your dirty laundry out in the street so people can laugh at you and demean you in any way, shape, or form, fuck up your image, all of that. This kid will never live this down. You know what's so crazy about this? She's probably a Christian too. Yeah, one of those holy rollers. She's whipping his ass in the name of Jesus. But you know, you couldn't roll up on Jesus like that. Jesus wasn't a pacifist. He don't allow people to just disadvantage and, beat him down. He look at Caesar and say, hey man, you need to back up off of me. You remember when Mary saw Jesus and she was like, oh, that's my son Jesus. Jesus said, look, Mary, I'm not your son anymore. The whole back up off of that. I'm not your son anymore. I've grown out of that now. I'm not your little boy. They like to call it. That's my baby. Jesus said, I ain't your baby no more. I'm a man now. I'm about a whole different kind of mission. So you can't come and say I'm your son. What's his name? He's your son. He said Jesus understood the language. And Jesus understood that if he didn't tell Mary to back up, she probably, this is my son, want him to do all this shit that he used to do when he was a baby, was a kid. Go fetch some water. Go to the well, fetch some water. Move the goat, get some hay. That's, Jesus understood that language. So he said, hey. You're not my mother no more. Not like that now. That's where you see all these guys, they're playing sports. What's the first thing they do? Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. That's the only thing they say. It's like a bunch of drones. Hi, Mom. Real men out there playing sport. Warriors in tights. Screaming, hi, Mom. Like you owe her a favor. You gotta give her some recognition. I gotta buy my mama house. One guy said, would you buy yourself, what's his name, buy his mama multi-million-dollar home? Would you do that? I know I wouldn't buy her a multi-million-dollar home. She already live in a home. She live in a house in a relatively nice neighborhood. Why would I want to buy her now a multi-million-dollar house for what? To give her things that she wasn't able to get. Well, if she wasn't able to get it, she don't deserve it now, does she? Within the perimeter of making her feel good and, giving her the basic necessities in life, I'm not going to, feed into her lust and frivolities. Huh? Causing all kind of unnecessary expenses just so you can look good. You reach a certain age, you're not supposed to be lusting for worldly stuff. You need to be in a temple meditating somewhere. Calming your mind down. Buying a multi-million-dollar house and big fancy car. Like I owe you something. I don't owe you shit. You're just my mother. I'm my father. My son won't owe me shit either. That's just how it works. Yeah, that's how it works. It's called a human contract. If it's too much for you, then don't take on the responsibility. Leave it to other people. And don't you come blackmailing me later, talking about all the good you did for me. You want me to buy all kind of expensive shit. Just get over it already. He's my baby. Look at my baby play. I ain't your baby, bitch. I'm a grown man now. And treat me as such. Treat me with some respect. Put some respect on my name. This kid, most likely, he's going to be scarred emotionally for the rest of his life because his images is not going to go anywhere. So even though the belt don't hurt, you see, it's not about the weapon here. There's nothing she can do with this belt that she couldn't do verbally. Out of love and say, look, you should be studying, and hurry up and do what you do and get back into the house. Finish your work. Communicate with him as a human being. When you communicate with people as human beings, they usually respond as human beings. The most vile criminal is because they were most likely abused like this. They weren't shown any love, any respect. They turn out to be violent because that's the only thing they know. You know why that's the only thing they know? Because that's the only thing they were taught. That's the only coping skill they have. Somebody attack them, they just go off like a mad rabid dog because that's the only thing they know. They'll learn it from the first teacher, the mother, Queen herself. You know, black man, when you leave your son with these queens, you know what you're doing? You're leaving them in a den of vipers for the most, for the most part. Now, some of them might turn out good. There are two things might happen when you leave your son. One, he might come out extremely gay. Or he might come out extremely violent. Look at this picture here. Look at this picture. Who raised these? Look at the image. What's the difference between that pants, the way he's wearing it, and some shackles around your ankle? Same thing. This ain't style. Ain't got nothing to do with fashion. This is slavery. They're reenacting plantation style fashion. That's what this is. Plantation style fashion. And they have the two enablers beside them. These are two women. These are the handlers, see? See, this image is created just for you. It just comes at you. And you're supposed to. How are you supposed to make sense out of that? You're not supposed to make any sense out of it. Because it wasn't supposed to be there to make any sense out of. God, I don't even have the words to even elaborate. That's why it fucks up your brain cell, your visual cell, everything. It just fucks it up. And you just look at it and you just put it out your mind. But they were raised by somebody. And how women could be around these men and egg them on to dress like this. You see what's going on here? You see the evil? I don't know how two young ladies could stand beside two young men dressed like this and don't protest. You're supposed to be young men that protects me. If any danger comes up, you're supposed to protect me. That's your job. You're not doing anything special. That's the social contract as a man. If I'm with you, I expect you to protect me. And there's no fucking way you can protect me and defend me dressing and walking around like that. Go put on some fucking clothes. You piece of shit. I'll be sitting right here waiting for you, motherfucker. And he would go and dress. But they just look broken, don't they? They look so broken, like their lives are over. They're finished. You don't have to worry about anything with them because they're broken. They won't even be able to walk. Where they're going to go? If there's any conflict, well, you don't have to worry about them. What are they going to do? It sure as hell ain't going to be William Wallace, defending the crown. Huh? Where is that nigger Sir Lancelot? Is he wearing dresses again? Huh? Is he out there jacking off, wearing his pants all the way down by his knees? I tell you, that boy is suspect. But whenever you see images like this, these are visual magic. Yeah, that's what it is. Designed to make you depressed. This is carefully crafted and carefully put together. The only thing you can do is this. If you can wear your pants down by your knees, then I can wear mine up underneath my fucking armpits. I saw this other video, which was really disturbing. A young woman and a guy got in a confrontation. Obviously, that's his girlfriend or whatever. And they were fighting in a store. So obviously, he knocked her down. And walking away, she followed him, jumped up again, and started to try to have a physical confrontation with him. She tried to hit at him, but he knocked her to the ground, and now he started to stomp her. He started stomping on her. I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. You're not supposed to do that. That's wrong on all levels, too. That's the flip side of it, right? What would get into your mind that you want to stomp a young lady? This is animal. This is bad. This is rude. This, on all levels, this is inhumane. The other side, you could justify and say, well, why did she follow him? And, she should have stand down when she know that he's stronger than her in every way, shape, or form. So I don't advocate that kind of behavior. That's wrong. Right? And I might say stuff out of anger, but, I'm just trying to get a point across. But he stumped this young lady. And here's the thing. Where did he learn this from? Where did he learn this anger management from? Could it be because of he was treated like that? Could it be that's how he learned to handle confrontation? Could it be that his mother treated him in such an unkind manner, or his family? He was abused, so he only knew to handle abuse in this way. If that was me, I would never forgive my mother. Not only that, I would never want to see her ass again. If you're in a situation like that, you know what you do? You just bide your time. So you go off to college somewhere. Because they're threatening you with kicking out the house. You know how they do that. I've seen that shit firsthand. Well, my mother never did that to me. My family never did that to me. But they know I would never take that shit anyway. The only thing my mother did to me was she just used to knock the shit out of me. I know some of you out there had mothers just knock the shit out of you. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I told her, Mom, you just been nagging me for an hour now. I just feel like killing myself. throw myself out the window. If you could just shut up, please. She's like, you're not going to threaten me with suicide. I'm going to say what I have to say. You should have thought about this shit you did before. I'm going to leave you all with an idea. A thought that came to my mind. See, this might be a little forward for some people, but for me it's very clear. You know what I see going on, especially with all this stuff in the air now, COVID and all this other craziness? I think there's a vast migration taking place. It's a migration of consciousness. You can call it the Great Awakening. But if you're awake, you're not going to stay in one place. You're going to move, right? You're going to have to migrate. I see a vast migration taking place out of this third dimension duality fuckery. That's what I see. People are raising their vibration. They're leaving this fuck shit behind. Y'all call it fuck shit or whatever name you want to give it. You know, it took a lot of sacrifice to hold this third dimension reality in place, the duality, and, you know, lots of hurt, lots of war, just to convince you to stay here. Wasn't really worthy of holding on to, but there's some lesson that we need to learn from it. But now it's time to move up. It's time to make the transformation. It's time to make the big jump. You could call it the quantum leap, motherfuckers. But we getting out of here. We're leaving this low life, low level vibration behind. Now, some people are not going to be able to make it because they want to hold on to this low vibration shit. And when they do, don't help them. Don't help them. Don't do anything to them for them. Don't say anything to them. They're just going to get hardened. Like those old African beetle. You know the one with the hardened shell? That's what some of these motherfuckers will end up like. That's going to be their evolution. Shouldn't even call it evolution, because your DNA is going to be written over. It's as if you didn't exist. Cast into oblivion. You know, I wouldn't doubt if some of these motherfuckers coalesce into some rare earth minerals where later on you can use it to power your ship to another planet. Yeah, it's a hard job. Somebody got to do it. Somebody going to have to be fertilizer for the fire, huh? Yeah, somebody got to be the dung and the manure. That's what I'm saying. As the evolutionary balls start to roll, some people are going to get left behind. But you notice the picture of the lotus. Where does it flower? In the dung, in the swamp. In the harsh condition, it flowers. Becomes a beautiful thing to look at. And that's where I think the human being, we're starting to rise up out of all this stuff. And images like this is here to pull us back down. Yeah, you can remind me, but you can't hold me down. They want to keep you down, anchor into this third dimension, because you see, they can't evolve. They can't go up. They're stuck. She is stuck. That's it for her. This little boy, though, he might be able to evolve and rise. And they hate that. That's why they try to beat you down. They see that you have potential. Don't ever make any mistake about it. As a brother, you're out there walking around, you have so much potential, and they see it. And they got to hit you from all kind of angle. They got to hit you with the porn. They got to hit you with violence. They got to hit you with shootings and all this stuff. They want to keep you in a lower mindset, lower vibration. But you see, we coming up out of this shit and they can't stop it. So you can bring those images on, motherfuckers. Bring them on.